Hi, everybody. It's the weekend, so that means it's time for family movie night. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this on Saturday or Sunday, but either way, I hope you're having a great day. And it's always a great day to watch a movie with your family. And today we're continuing on Classic Musical Month, and we are talking about High Society. This is, I think, maybe a little underrated film. It's sort of forgotten, like a lot of remakes are. And you can ask the question, does this need to exist? But I actually really enjoy this remake, and I think that it does like enough unique, enough different to make it worthwhile, in my opinion. So this is a remake of the Philadelphia Story, which was an iconic film. This was 1940 that the Philadelphia Story came out. Of course, it had won an Oscar for Jimmy Stewart. It was a favorite by many people. It's still beloved. It had an incredible cast with Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn and Jimmy Stewart as your leads. Iconic, wonderful, love it. But this was 1956, so 16 years later, and this is a musical version of the same story from the Philadelphia Story. And I mean, the biggest difference obviously is the musical difference, but I would say that this film also has a pretty iconic cast. It's not like it's nobody's. You've got Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Louis Armstrong. I mean, that's pretty amazing cast. So I think it's practically as good. Les Holmes in here, who's in All About Eve. I mean, so it's got a great cast here. And I think the songs are really fun. I mean, you're never going to get me to hate a Cole Porter musical as far as the songs. Really fun. This was the first songs he'd written for a film score in 8 years at the time. And it's True Love and You Were Sensational, those two big new songs that he wrote for this musical. And those are great. I love both of those songs. And you can't have better than Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby singing those songs. Super fun.
We sing so rare, like old Camembert.
And then what other thing is kind of cool is you have Louis Armstrong, and not only do you have Louis Armstrong in this movie, but you have him playing himself and his band. There's a whole song, Now You Has Jazz, where he actually gets to introduce each of his band members, and they get a little like solo with Bing Crosby. That is really fun. I enjoy that. Random that he's in this movie. I guess they're there for the wedding, but they're just kind of around. It's sort of random, but like I'm fine with it because I love Louis Armstrong and love hearing that music. So that's really good. This was also Grace Kelly's last movie before she became the Princess of Monaco. So that's kind of fun too. This was her final film. She doesn't really sing in the movie. Pretty much all of the singing is either Frank Sinatra or Bing Crosby or Louis Armstrong in the movie. So she must not have had a very good singing voice because they didn't really work in any singing for her. So that's interesting. It's the same story as your Philadelphia Story. You have Tracy, that's the socialite. She's getting married. She's marrying this man named George, who is maybe well-meaning but kind of a snob. She had been with this guy C.K. Dexter, who is like impulsive and somewhat frustrating. They make him a singer-composer here. I think he's a reporter in the original. Sorry, it's been a bit since I saw that one, but yeah, he's a singer-songwriter, and that's why he's like friends with Louis Armstrong. That's why he's there anyway. And he's come back for this wedding, which is bonkers. Like, why would you have your ex at your wedding? Like, that's crazy. But he's there. And then you have the tabloid reporters played by Celeste Holm and Frank Sinatra. And Frank Sinatra is Mike. He plays Mike. And he starts to get a little bit of a crush on Tracy. And that you see that throughout the film. And I would say he ignores Celeste Holmes' character even more than in the Philadelphia Story, Jimmy Stewart's character. I really do not buy I would say that one weakness in this film is the couples in general have low chemistry. There's no chemistry between Bing Crosby and Grace Kelly, and then Celeste Holm and Frank Sinatra that feels like a throwaway. If anything, maybe there's like a tiny bit of chemistry between Frank Sinatra and Grace Kelly, but like that scene where they kiss, it's like a longer scene, I swear, than the Philadelphia Story. And she's like completely sloshed. So she doesn't like really like him because she's not like herself. She's not like thinking, so but that's like a pretty long scene, and they go swimming together, and this whole thing. And then there's this whole thing where Dexter gives her this boat, and the boat is where they, I think, spend their honeymoon, their marriage. And so there's this flashback scene where they don't even like try to make them look younger at all, which is kind of funny. But that like on the boat, and it's supposed to be all passionate, but again, they don't really have any chemistry together. So, that's lacking, I would say, in the film. But it's still, got that kind of like sparring and that banter, and it's fun seeing Louis Armstrong and the songs, and it's still a rom-com and with great stars, and like a fun plot that you have. And in the ending, when why don't I become the groom? It's fun. And so I don't know, I like this movie. I think it's very pleasant, and I guess to me, just the addition of the songs and having Louis Armstrong, I think it just makes it different enough that it like stands on its own as its own movie. It doesn't feel like shot for shot remake.
Sensational.
It feels like its own ideas are happening, and it's still got a very charismatic cast, and it still beats, it has those fun story beats from the original film, of the George character getting increasingly frustrated with Dexter and getting more sort of manic and paranoid. And then when he sees her kissing Mike, like that's it, that's he cannot be with a woman like this, which is ridiculous and funny. And so all of those elements that work in the original work in this, but you have music and you have Louis Armstrong, which is a win in my book. So yeah, let me know what you think about High Society. They did make a Broadway musical off of it. I don't think it did all of that well, but I'd be interested to see it someday, see High Society, the musical. If you've seen it, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And please check out all of my Classic Musical Month reviews. I've been doing this for several years, so I have a pretty good collection. I would love to hear your thoughts on every single one of those. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. We're getting closer and closer to 5K subscribers all the time. So please, please, please subscribe, like the video, and check out the patron group and merch store. We have lots of great benefits for being a patron. You're part of Q&As and watch alongs, and you could have bonus episodes, things like that. Really fun. Please check it out. And then the merch store where you get I Love Musical shirts. So that's really fun. I Love Rom-Com shirts. Check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.